Hey, True Believers, Chris Mack coming at you today with the Adventures of Superman 497. This is part 4 of The Death of Superman. The print date on this was December 1992. And as I said with the first 3 books, I like that the writing team on all the super books took their time, and each book, the tonality feels the same. Like, of course, they're different writers, but as I said, this was pre-internet days, so they had a super conference so that everyone could sit down and plot out this event, and everything sound, harmonic, I guess you could say. Because we've gone from the Man of Steel to, the Man of Steel to Superman to the Justice League, and now we're in the Adventures of Superman. 4 books in, and even the artwork, different artists, different inkers, different colorists, and of course they're all going to have their own take on the characters, but everything at least feels the same. Now, again, we're getting the third-person perspective from Mitch, the son, and he's talking about how Superman has taken off to fight Doomsday. He's in the midst of all this wreckage, and no one else can help him. The Justice League has just been completely taken out. And even, he says here, from the look of things, about 20 feet from where my family used to be, that Booster Gold must have wished that he had croaked, because Doomsday just took a big bite out of him. And look at that splash page with all those action lines. Gorgeous, gorgeous work. Now let's talk about who made this book. This is Tom Grummett pencils, Doug Hazelwood inks, Jerry Ordway writer, Albert de Guzman letter, Glenn Whitmore colorist, Jennifer Franklin assistant editor, and Mike Carlin was the editor. And of course, Superman was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. And there was something else I was going to say about that. Oh, Jerry Ordway. If memory serves correctly, he's the one that worked on the Suicide Squad in the 80s when it became the supervillains, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Black Tiger, I think's his name, something like that. But it was just those teams, and he was the one that helped introduce Barbara Gordon back into continuity as Oracle. But back to Superman. Just look at this. Mitch is praying. He goes, through the thick black smoke, I see Superman up in the sky. I hear the sounds of his fists all over Doomsday. Please, God, let him hear my cries for help. And he's wanting to help his mom, but the fire's too thick. The Justice League is just too out of it to help him. Booster's saying, can't give up. That kid and his mom didn't ask for this. She's saying, guy's hurt. He can't stand up. His ribs are broken. Blue Beetle's in a coma. And Superman's like, I hear you, kid. I just thought one of the Leaguers might be able to. Damn, Gardner and the rest are unconscious. I've got to get back down there. They're so high up. But it looks like that's it. He's looking this way. He sees me. Wham! Shoot, that sounded like thunder. Soup's got to shake that Doomsday crab before he can do us any good. So Superman tries to use all the type of tactics that he can to sort of slow down Doomsday, saying I need to put him down below, where he's going to have to fight to get back up to the Earth's silt. But of course, the Man of Steel comes in time with the aid of Bloodwind. He goes, of all the Leaguers, this guy keeps surprising me with his resiliency. Now, spoiler alert, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the Justice League issue, but Bloodwind was supposed to be like this big kind of, mystery. But you come to find out, again, spoiler alert, that this is John Jones in disguise. This is the Martian Manhunter, and that's why he seems a little out of character for this Bloodwind persona. Now they're able to finally save Mitch, get the fire out, and at least slow down Doomsday for a few minutes. And I love how Guy is just like, don't wuss out, Boy Scout. Put Doomsday in the pine box, or I'll crawl off this gurney and kick both of your butts. Just great work. And now look at this. Even though he's at the bottom of this lake, he leaps like the old Superman of Earth 2 does, straight out of the water, comes after the helicopter, and just brings it straight down. Now again, the pacing, the first 3 issues were sort of slow. There wasn't a whole lot of fisticuffs. It showed more of Superman's compassion towards the people of Earth. But now that he's seen friends hurt, people dying, we see an unchained Superman. In this battle, again, as I said this last one, and I'll keep saying it, is Claremont always said that you have to care about your characters and their lives. The action and everything else is just, what do you call it? A cherry on top. So while Superman, with his compassion, is trying to save the pilots, he goes, excuse me, guys, but there are a dozen people trapped in that wreckage who need help. Now we get a different tonality. We hear, stand there amid the destruction and revel in it, warrior. Your motives are unclear as yet. And then we see Maxima. But if it's battle you crave, I, Maxima, am pleased to oblige. And she just, ka-crow, smacks the living crap out of him. Now, another thing that I liked about the pacing of this book is, okay, we get the action, but then we cut away and we start to see all the different characters that are going to come into play in this book. We take a beat to see that Lois Lane has come to this TV set to come steal Jimmy, who apparently is doing a TV show called Turtle Boy or something like that, and it's very remnant of Ninja Turtles, as you see. What issue did he start doing a TV show on top of working for the Daily Planet? I have no idea. Let me know down in the comments. But I love how they finally bring in Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, because, of course, Jimmy's going to be the photographer of this. And then we cut away to the newly cloned Lex Luthor that we do not know. We think this is Alexander Luthor, the son of Lex Luthor, but he's actually just a clone, a younger version. And then Supergirl, too. This isn't the Supergirl that we know that died in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Supertron, if you're watching this, if you guys don't know, there's a gentleman who watches our reviews. His name's Supertron. And this guy, he is a cool cat. He is so knowledgeable on DC characters. And he told me this once, but I've completely forgotten. But she's actually a shape-shifting alien that respects Superman. So out of respect, he became Supergirl again. And it's a whole thing that I don't remember what issues it ran from. And she's saying, maybe I should get out there and help. And Lex is saying, listen, love, you can't just up and run off like that. You need to be here with me. We need a contingency plan in case this menace makes his way to Metropolis. Now you're thinking this Lex Luthor's son, quote unquote, is a little more altruistic than his father. As we get into a Funeral for a Friend, you'll see his true colors. But I love how Superman, even though we have all this violence and all this stuff that Doomsday's done, goes, Maxima, what on earth? We're bound to the people in that store. There are bound to be people in that store. There's always innocent victims in battle. Don't you dare punch me, Superman. Look, just think before you swing, okay, Princess? We can't quarrel among us. But before you can finish, Doomsday takes on Maxima and Superman, both beings of not this world, and just treats them like so much tissue and rag dolls. And what I like is how, again, Superman has the compassion but the strength and is able to leash himself in, as where Maxima, she's still learning. They end up at this gas station, gasoline's going everywhere. Maxima wanting to take him out, not thinking, pulls a light pole, begins to spark, and Superman's like, wait! And we just get this. And because of her not thinking, Doomsday is on the run. And Guardian saying, was all this violence and destruction really necessary? And this is where it says, first thing, it says the media had a name for this person. Doomsday. And I love how Superman sees that he can't risk his friends. He goes, there's always another way other than the destruction that's happened thus far. But that doesn't alter the fact that I've still got to stop him. And now I realize I have to do it alone. Because Superman sees what's happened in the Justice League, how everyone's not really thinking the way that he does, because he always has a way of trying to at least minimize the damage and the body count. And he's just seen that the stakes are just too high to risk anyone else. So guys, The Adventures of Superman 497, this is where the action begins with the death of Superman, and we just see the type of threat that Doomsday continues to be. The artwork's on point. Another memorable cover as Superman's just flying head first into Doomsday. Just a great issue all around. So y'all, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your figures and comics, and grab a copy or the collected trade. If you've enjoyed this review, We really would appreciate it if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little super bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I will make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.